fourth graders since 8 o'clock this morning. They're very excited to do this history play. This is not an ordinary history play. You're not going to learn a lot of names and dates and places. But what you will experience is a feeling of what it was like to be alive here in Nebraska about 100, 150 years ago. In the early to mid 1800s, if you wanted to get to Nebraska, you had to walk. Or if you were lucky, you had a good strong wagon with some oxen to pull it. In those days, there were no roads, just muddy trails. And you know what happens when it rains here? These wagons that get stuck in the mud, they had to get out and push. Pull! Pull! They got it unstuck and they're heading west. Where are y'all headed anyway? Grand Island, great little town, growing fast, but not too fast. the women did most of it. Then they picked up the dirt and grass. Ready? Hey! Good job, ladies! The problem with sod houses was you could be cooking a meal and insects would fall out of the ceiling right into your pot. The best kind of house was a log cabin. They sent in woodcutters to cut down trees. Bring in those logs, ladies and gents. It took 60 to 80 trees to make an average-sized log cabin, which is why there weren't too many here in Nebraska. Timber, look out! Had to keep your wits about you out here. There weren't any doctors. Everybody out. Let's show the folks what a log cabin looks like. Everybody out. You know, these cabins weren't very big. Maybe 8, 10 feet wide. About this wide. Let's go back and see what it was like living in a log cabin. Right here in Nebraska. In the wintertime. When it was cold outside. The central part of any log cabin was the fireplace. We've got a cute little fire going in it right now. It was used not only for warmth, but they used to cook on it. The men would sleep on one side of the cabin on the floor, women on the other, if they had a floor. Most of these cabins were built on bare ground. In the wintertime, they used to put down pieces of wood to walk on so their feet wouldn't freeze to the earth. They didn't have much, maybe a table and chairs, but they didn't have televisions, no radios, no computers, no Walkmans, no microwaves, no light bulbs, maybe a book or two, but that was it. So they used to do a lot of what they're doing right now. Sleep. They used to sleep 12, 14 hours a day in the winter just to stay warm and pass the time. The mother was usually the first one up in the morning. She'd wake up to cook breakfast for the whole family, just like moms do today. I bet I can tell you what they're having for breakfast. Mush, corn mush. They used to have it every morning. Then they'd have it for lunch. But for supper they'd have... That's right, 3 times a day, maybe a little salt pork, but in the winter, they didn't have hamburgers or hot dogs. No fruit, no vegetables, no ice cream, no candy, no cakes, no pizza, no Mexican food, no Italian food, no Chinese food, no potato chips, just corn mush day after day. No wonder they used to sleep so much. But when the springtime came, there was lots to do for everybody. These cabins didn't have running water. You wanted water? You had to carry it by hand from a stream or a well. And that's what this woman is doing. Heavy buckets of water, dumping it into this oak barrel, so these women could do the most difficult job on the prairie, the laundry. The rule of thumb was don't wash the clothes until they can stand up by themselves. And over here, she's patching up holes in the wall using clay and mud to keep the wind from blowing through. Mr. Spot. And over here, she's patching up her own clothes. There weren't any stores, so they had to make all their clothes from scratch or patch up the ones they had. And here they're chopping up fruit and vegetables, putting it into jars and storing it so they wouldn't have to eat so much corn mush for so long. Now, I don't know about you, but it looks like the women are doing most of the work. And that's the way it was on the prairie. Except for 2 areas that the men took care of. The planting of crops and the animals. And sometimes those pigs can be hard to catch. Here they come now, let's hear it. Headed back this way. Now he's coming back. Get that guy, that pig has glasses on. southern United States. These slaves had been kidnapped from their homes in Africa and forced to work on large farms called plantations. Many of these slaves were treated badly and tried to escape. And many sympathetic Nebraskans called Underground Railroaders tried to help them escape to the cities of the North or even up to Canada. Now the slave masters didn't like it when the slaves ran away, so they sent out bounty hunters to try to catch them and bring them back. Soon the issue of slavery became a conflict, which turned into a war known as the Civil War. The states lined up for slavery and against slavery. Nebraska was against slavery and joined the side of the North. And over 1,000 Nebraskans became involved. Let's go back and join up with the 2nd Nebraska Infantry Regiment as it scouts out reports of a massive Confederate troop movement near Vicksburg, Mississippi. Excuse families came. Good cheap land that they could farm and own themselves. Something they couldn't do back in their home countries. And your pretty wife?
Elvis.
Tell me, Helga, why did you come to America?
Hans made me.
And your little boys?
Wolfgang. D.T.
Dita.
Yeah.
Georg. And why did you kids come to Nebraska?
Hans made us.
You dog, Hans. Perhaps this German family can demonstrate a little German folk dance for us. Are we ready? Yes. Oh, papa, oh, papa, oh, papa. Well, let's hear it for the German family. Excuse me, sir, your name?
John, shut the front.
Shut up, right now. Hey, what country are you from? Excuse me, sir. And what can I do for you? A game of cards. No thanks, pal. I heard about gamblers like you, Sharpies trying to take advantage of these poor people right off the boat, giggling all the time while they're doing it. Anyway, I don't want to see. Somebody stop me, pick my pocket. You really had to watch your valuables along some of these river towns with all the gamblers and scallywags about there those times. So, Sean, what country are you from?
Ireland.
An Irish family. Now, why'd you come all the way from Ireland to Nebraska?
We were starving.
Potato famine in Ireland. Many of them left the country just to survive. Came to America. Came to Nebraska. And your pretty wife?
Sarah.
Tell me, Sarah, why'd you come to Nebraska?
For regulation of freedom.
That's right, religious freedom. That's why many families came to worship in the church of their choice, something they couldn't do back in their home countries. And your boy?
Mike. Mary.
Why'd you kids come to Nebraska?
Play in the mud.
Oh, you came to the right place. Perhaps this Irish family can demonstrate a little Irish folk dance. Hands up. Let's hear it for the Irish family. And you, sir, your name?
Carl.
What country, Carl?
Holland.
Holland, the Dutch family. I should have known from your wife's distinctive hat. And your name?
Hilda.
Hilda, why'd you come to Nebraska?
To start a bakery.
Bakery, very good. And your little boys, what are your names?
Pizza.
Pizza.
Really?
Willie. And why did you kids come to Nebraska?
Eat our mom's cookies.
I'm sure you'll be very successful unless these boys eat all your food. Hey, Peter, Billy, you can eat all those cookies.
Yeah, baby.
Whoa, look at the size of this family. You must be the dad. And what's your name?
I'm a Tony.
Tony. What country are you from?
Italy.
Italy, an Italian family. And your pretty wife?
Angela.
Angela. Why'd you come to America?
So Tony, get a job.
Get a job. You got a big family to feed here. And an angry wife. Yeah, baby. And who's this elderly woman?
I'm Grandma Rosa.
Ah, Grandma, why'd you come to America?
I make pasta and grow the garden.
Oh, you need a lot of pasta and vegetables for this big family. Round of applause for Grandma Rosa. Let's find out who the children are. We'll start with the girls. And what's your name?
My name is Maria.
Oh, Maria.
I'm Sophia.
Oh, Sophia, bellissimo, so beautiful. And the boys?
Mario.
Mario. Rico.
Tony Jr.
Tony Jr., you look familiar. And why did you kids come to America? And where are y'all headed anyway? Omaha. How about this Dutch family? Where are you headed? And these Irish, where are you headed? O'Neill, I'm not surprised. And these Germans. Hey, big round of applause for Miss Cochran and the class. tremendously huge buildings we have today. 150 years ago, it was just a small house or even a large log cabin. Girls would sit along one wall on benches, boys were along the other. And all the grades were in the same room from first grade right up through high school. Most of these early schoolhouses had a blackboard at the front of the room, just a piece of wood painted black, and they used limestone for chalk. And many of them had a pot-belly stove in the middle, and the kids used to take turns bringing wood onto it, loading wood into it so they wouldn't be so cold. That's it. Open it up, load it up. It's cold out there. Yeah, one more. Feels good, doesn't it? Yeah. They also used to take turns bringing in lunch for each other. And it used to cook on that stove all morning long. While they tried to study, they would smell the aroma. Venison stew, their favorite. They used to study whatever books they had, books on grammar, punctuation, arithmetic, political speeches, poetry. The way they learned was by memorizing the whole book. When they finished memorizing all the books, then they graduated. Now in those days, they used to hire teachers for 3 months at a time at $1 a day. Spring, summer, and fall, they wanted a woman teacher. But in the wintertime, they tried to hire a man because that's when the farm boys were in school. And they were often older and could cause discipline problems. Many of them even had facial hair at that age. Let's go back and have a lesson in an early Nebraska schoolhouse with a woman who was capable of handling those farm boys, Miss Jones!
Good morning, class.
Good morning, Mrs. Jones.
How we got our lessons? Girls? Very good. Boys? Do you think this is funny? Recite the Gettysburg Address.
4 years ago. 4 years ago. 4 years ago?
Stand back down. Any of the girls? 70.
Fourscore and 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth upon this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men and women are created equal.